And a lot of people ask me, even from photographs on my albums, etc., they say, what is that instrument that you're playing? And I said, well, it's my own guitar that I designed from scratch, and the Fender custom shop agreed to build it for me. Well, Stephen Stern, who built the guitar, had studied with D'Acquisto. D'Acquisto studied with D'Angelico, and I had a D'Angelico. And so anyway, I put the best of all the guitars that I played over the years, the Gibson L5, everything, all in one particular package. And I did all the drawings, everything to scale for this guitar. The headstock, which is all inlaid and everything, and I call the guitar Angel. And if you see, I have a set of angel wings on the top, etc. And the Fender company could not make this headstock. They had to send it out to a jeweler, and the jeweler made the headstock. And the vice president told me that cost us an arm and a leg. And the rest of the guitar being spruce, and the sides and the back are all flame maple. The neck is maple in two sections, staggered so the grain would not break across. All the frets are all inlaid in the binding. The pick guard is actually ebony, all right? It's solid ebony. The tailpiece is solid ebony. It's a Bob Benedetto, who builds guitars, great guitars. It's a Bob Benedetto tailpiece, and Bob Benedetto actually installed it on this guitar. And it has a floating pickup, so it can be played acoustically as well as electrically. And it is a marvelous instrument, and it'll never be replaced because it's the only one in the world. And acoustically, you have sounds, all acoustic. So you have it acoustically. If I plug it in, it sounds just like an electric guitar. But it still has that nice sweet sound. When I work with Sinatra or somebody, they want that nice crispy rhythm sound, woody. You can feel the wood in the guitar. And it makes a big difference. I even decorated the back by putting inlays in the back. And then I also put inlays in the bridge. And all the binding that you see, when you see a white, a black, a white, all that, every one is a single layer, goes on separately. So you can see the amount of workmanship that goes into something like this. The top, the back, it starts like a block of wood, and it's all carved. It's not pressed like your cheap guitars. They're pressed. They put them in a steam thing, and they shape it. This is all hand carved. And then they tap the wood so they could hear that the wood is the same thickness everywhere, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot that goes into a piece like this, and this is now priceless. And as I'm getting into autumn years, I'm starting to face the issue of I finally have to pass it on to either a collector or something. So if you're interested, my ears are to the ground, but it's a fantastic piece, the only one in the world. That makes it even more valuable. Plus its history, and I can document all the history of what went into this guitar. And once Fender built it, they said, you know, Ralph, we can never build another one. It cost us too much money. It's outrageous. And they said, we'll never build another one. So it will always remain the only one in the world.
Play a little melody of some of the songs that this was on.
Oh!
Can you just through the, you know what I mean?
It goes back to a lot of things. How about, let's see, we're going to play royalties now.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember this one? Remember that?
Oh boy.
Yeah, so things like that, I Dream of Jeannie. Yeah, there was
And Eastwood?
so many. Oh, yeah. When you get into the Eastwood things, you get into this kind of stuff. And then you get into where you go into the bad guy. You get that kind of sound. And you got this. Then you get the pretty girl. And of course, when you get back to the bad guy again. You know, there's so many ideas that you have to come up with. And a lot of times writers will not write a cue of that type. They will say, they call the contractor and say, do I have Ralph Grasso on the date? Yes. Oh, good. Forget it. I'm not going to write anything. I'm just going to tell Ralph, hey, here's the picture. Play something for me. And so right away you invent something on the spot. And you can't play somebody's tune. You have to invent it as you're playing. So whenever you see these things, and you have things where a little mystery kind of thing, and you go, see? And right away it causes tension. It causes tension. As simple as that is. But right away, woo, you know, something's going to happen. So the creativity of doing something. Even when we were doing Glenn Campbell's show, sometimes Glenn is on camera talking, and right away during the camera rehearsal, and the directors say, you know, it sounds too dead. Glenn is just talking by himself. He said, have Ralph play something in the background on guitar. So Nelson said to me, Ralph, play something in the background. I'm like, what? You know, because you can't play a tune. You have to just play something, you know, just pretty while he's talking. And when he's finished talking, and you got to finish it. You see? So you invent something on the spot. But that's why these certain writers call you, because they know if I'm in a jam, I could look at Ralph or whomever and say, give me something. And you're going to get it right then and there.